morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, Leandro.
Good
Hello,
morning.
André. Hello, Natalia.
Hello.
Hello, Natalia, number 2. Right, so, well, everybody's here. So, today we're gonna talk about assessment. In today's session, we will review formative and summative assessment, understand the requirements and format of the final exam for health, understand the requirements and format of the essay for health. Okay, so which types of assessments are there? If you think about any type of activity that can be an assessment, what are they? What examples can you give?
Quizzes, exams, observation, discussions, self-reflection.
What else? Anyone else would like to contribute?
Presentations, quizzes, exams.
Okay. Well, basically, any type of activity can become an assessment. A writing assessment, like a writing assignment or a short writing assignment, projects, class participation, right? And remember that we're dealing with the American educational system. So how does it work? How does assessment and grading work in the American educational system? You saw it in the Moodle training. When are the students assessed in this type of educational system? Or when and how? Do you remember? Natalia, Merlin, Andrea?
No, I don't remember this part of the training. I imagine that there are end of the units, and there are also ongoing assessments, such as formative for class observation and student participation and interaction in classes.
Yeah, so the American educational system, it's a little different. I guess in Brazil, it's not so different, but you have some countries like France. In France, usually they count a lot on end of the year exams and end of cycles exams. In the American education,
No, sorry. No, I was going to say that in the plan we have the assessment for pretty much every class, right?
Yes, exactly. So in the American educational system, students are assessed day by day, class by class, week by week, month by month. Like Natalia Foracini said, ongoing assessment. So we count all of these things for like a daily assessment. Apart from the final exams, apart from the big projects. So there we have formative and summative assessments. So formative assessment measures how the students are learning throughout the course. They may or may not be graded by the teacher. So you can have class participation, class assignments, homeworks, sometimes even quizzes or quiz games that you don't necessarily grade, but you can also have small assignments or quizzes that you grade on a weekly basis, for example. So examples of formative assessment are quizzes, projects, presentations, writings, oral participation, content game, pair work, and group work. Summative assessment measures how much the students have actually learned content-wise by the middle or the end of the course. So you make an assessment, summative assessment, to quantify, to measure how much they learned in terms of content. They're always graded by the teacher, and some examples are exams, essays, presentations. Okay, this is the assessment chart for health. And this is something that you cannot change. So in health, we have 2 projects. Project 1, project 2, each one is worth 20% of the grade. And the result of the project is the final product and an oral presentation presenting the project. Notice that there are no reports. No reports necessary, okay? 50% of the grade, sorry, let me mute my phone for that. 15% of the grade belongs to the essay, and the essay requires the final product, the essay, and an oral presentation of the essay. 25% is for the exam. In the case of health, it's a final exam at the end of the course. And then 10% for homework assignments and quizzes, 10% for classroom engagement. These 10% here and here is where you have margin to bring different types of assessment and then divide. Let's say you want to grade quizzes, and quizzes alone are going to be worth 5% of the grade. So let's say every class or every week you do a quiz, and at the end they are worth 5% of the grade. It's 5% inside this 10%, okay? Classroom engagement, you consider group participation, individual participation, participation in the projects, in the games, and everything. So you have freedom to divide these 10% and 10%, however you'd like. However, the general thing you cannot change, okay? The assessment form and values cannot be changed, only inside these 10%. For the final exam, so for health, it's a half credit, 60 hours. It has only one exam at the end of the course, the final exam. All the exams at Griggs, they have 5 categories of questions. And for each category, we have a specific percentage value for the final grade and time frames. How much time the students will spend doing each part of the exam. In order to know all of this, you can consult the GIA Examination Guidelines 2024. And we also have the retake exams, which means if a student failed an exam or failed to take it, they have to take a retake exam, which must be entirely different from the original exam, okay? All right, so we're gonna take a look at the exam guidelines, which is here. Natalia Medlin, was it you that said you didn't have access to this year's
Yes,
planning toolkit? Did you get access?
I know Juliana, right? She added me in the WhatsApp group, but I haven't seen any email.
It's in the WhatsApp group. It's in the description of the group.
Okay, so I'll get it. Thank you.
So we have this folder here, GIA exams guidelines. And it's very important that you consult this document. It's not that long and it will tell you exactly how to make your exam, okay? So here we have some explanation about how much it's worth, 5 categories, blah, blah, blah. But what I really like is this table. So you have one table for midterms and one table for final exams. I'm sorry, final exam standards. So here we have the categories of questions, the type of question, the number of questions, who writes the questions, the percentage of the question, how much it's worth in the final grade, and the timing for the exam. So category 1 is the long essay questions, which is open response, and the students must include the GIA key values in their answers, okay? In these questions, these questions use the command terms for HOT, so higher order thinking skills, complex commands that the students have to follow. Who writes these questions? For the final exam, it's Griggs. Griggs will write the questions, you will not, and they will send you in advance, of course, 4 questions in advance, but not so much in advance, typically just a couple of days. They will send you 4 questions and the students will answer 2. Okay, they have the freedom to discard 2 questions. And they have to answer with 100 words each one. These 2 questions are worth 50% of the grade, which is a lot. And if you think that the exam is worth 25% of the grade, that means that 2 questions of the exam are worth 12.5% of the final grade. So it's quite a lot, it's quite important. These 2 questions are actually worth more than all of the homework assignments, for example. So it's important that you prepare your students to answer these questions. Practice 100 words answers, 100 words writing with them. Remind them to include the GIA key values. Yeah, have lots of writing assignments so that they're ready for this moment. And they have 1 hour to complete this task. Then we have categories 2, 3, and 4. All of them have 20 questions worth 10% of the grade. And they are fill in the blanks or matching. So category 2, you can do 10 and 10. 10 fill in the blanks, 10 matching, 5 and 15, 12 and 8. There's no rule here. Then true or false and multiple choice questions. Now notice that true or false and multiple choice, you need to include at least 1 question based on visual data, like a map, a graph, or a cartoon. You can have like a map or a graph and more than one question about that, but you need to have at least one question about at least one visual aid, okay? And for multiple choice, include at least 2 questions referencing intercultural aspects. That is mentioning something about Brazil, about your own country, or about another country, comparing US and different countries. Of course, you're not going to memorize everything I'm saying here. I'm just showing you that this table is very valuable. So when you are sitting down to write your exam, please return here so that you do this everything right. Otherwise, when you submit your exam, it will come back to you for you to do it again, okay? And this part, these 3 categories are worth the students have 50 minutes to complete them. Category 5 is the short essay question. So we have 2 short essay questions. And how short is a short essay question? It's not even an essay. It's just short answer. 10 to 15 words, which is like 1 line. It's very, very short. So the command terms for these questions will be lots. It's impossible for you to ask a student to analyze something, develop something. It's impossible. Criticize. So they will identify, differentiate one thing from another, classify, categorize. They only have 10 to 15 words, okay? And one of the questions also must be based on visual data.
I have a question about the short essay questions.
Yes.
Well, actually, I guess this also applies for the long essay questions as well. If they go beyond the word limit, we shouldn't take out points from that, right? The word limit is just a minimum, it's not a maximum.
Yeah, you have to be reasonable. It's 10 to 15 words. If they write 50, it's way too much. But if they write 17, 20, I guess you can consider.
So if they go way beyond the word limit, like
Way
they double
beyond.
it, triple it,
Yeah,
then we
because
should think about taking out some points.
yeah, because then it's not fair. Like you have other students, you know,
Yeah.
having to summarize and they miss information because they respect the limit, and then you have another student who includes more information because they went beyond. Here, it's the same thing. Usually we work with 10%, more or less, because there are some students that are is it prolific, the word, when they talk a lot or write a lot, and they could write 200, 250 words, which is like more than double. It's too much.
So, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, they, you know, summarizing and being succinct is also something that they need to know how to do.
So with that in mind, should we specify within the exam itself how many words we're expecting to to uh to receive, or should
Yeah,
we do that throughout the class?
You can tell them, that they cannot go way beyond and that they can definitely not write less.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Natalia, yes?
I have 2 questions, in fact. One is, when should we make all this information clear to students, like concerning the percentages that you have shown in the slide before and also here. And the second question is concerning the time, because there is a note at the end of this table, right? Category 1 should be given first after 60 minutes. You have to give the other one. So could you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Okay, yeah. So this, sorry. This information, is this one you're referring to? This you should give to the students in the first day of class. In the first day of class, I like to show them the course description. This is the course description. You can print and hand it to them, but not necessarily. I usually create a Google Drive where I share documents with the students. So I keep the course description there so they can see they have all the content and they have the percentage of the assignments. I explain each one of the assignments the very first day. Explain each one of the assignments, what it is. The essay, for example, we're gonna talk about the essay soon. But if I already know, they're freshmen, so I will tell them the word count, how it works. Maybe we'll even choose the topic for the essay in the first day, or maybe in the second day, but I will present the possible topics in the first day. And briefly talk about the exam. In the first day, exam, just briefly, I briefly talk about it. When it's coming closer, I explain everything. How many questions, each category. I don't remember. Yeah, no, telling them the percentage. And then throughout the course, you're gonna practice. Where is it? Throughout the course, you should practice the different categories. So, like I said before, give them short paragraph assignments, have fill in the blanks exercises, matching exercises, true or false exercises. And they can be like, they watch a video and they will show their understanding through a true or false exercise. Multiple choice exercises. By the way, I don't know if you guys are using ChatGPT to create exercises yet, but it's very helpful. Like if you get a new video, you can download the subtitles of the video. So kind of you have the script of the video, and then you can use ChatGPT to help you create exercises, you know. Of course, review, check if it's good, if it's not. Usually I ask it to, like, I want 5, true or false. I ask it to create 10, and then I select the best ones. But anyways, you should practice all of this throughout the semester, okay? And about this, yeah, category 1 is given first, alone, like separately, and they have 1 hour. Students will have 30 minutes to do the rest of the test. However, if a student finished category, may begin to... Yeah, this 30 minutes is wrong. This is a mistake because it's 50 minutes plus 10. So they have 2 hours. Okay, 1 hour for category 1, and then 1 hour for the remaining categories. So it's, you will give them the essay questions and 1 hour to complete it. When they finish, you will give the other questions. If a student finishes first before 1 hour, they don't need to be like sitting looking at nowhere waiting. You can give them the other questions to continue. Okay. Just to finish here, short essay. It's worth 20% of the total grade of the exam. So it's also important. I always tell my students to answer everything they can, like answer everything. I don't take blank answers because sometimes they think they don't know. It's much more about being insecure than any other thing. So they may think they don't know, but if they try, they may get something right. And because the writing questions are worth so much of the grade, if they leave it blank, it's 10% of the grade already that they lost. And they have 10 minutes to complete it. Here you have some information about retake exams. Okay, so the situations in which you would have to create an entirely new exam for students to take it. If they fail the grade, minimum passing grade of 70. If the first exam, the conditions were not ideal, the exams had mistakes or some other problems. If the school canceled the exam for some reason, I don't know why they didn't include here if the student misses the day based on a medical license or something. Then about fees, you have to check with your school, okay? Affiliate schools can charge a special fee from the students, but then it's different from school to school. And you will have to submit a different version of the exam for approval. We also have, well, here you have about proctoring exams, about writing exams, use of Bloom's taxonomy for the short answers. Then you have some types of questions that you should use, like questions including accept or not, select the incorrect response, things like this. And then here's just explaining a little bit more in details about each category. I highly recommend you take a look at this document. Okay. For the exam, we have a question bank, which is made by the teachers, okay? In collaboration. So we have this document. Here are the instructions. And so you have the person who created the question and the questions that they created. One question for category 1, 4 questions for categories 2, 3, and 4 each, and 1 question for category 5. So the person chose, well, here I guess they didn't create the questions yet. It depends on the person, but here you have some questions created, some questions that are ready with the answer key. So you can use this to here as well. You can use these questions like a question bank to help you create your own exam, okay? And sorry, there's so many documents. I get lost.
Can I ask a question about this collaborative bank?
Mm-hmm.
Are these some of the questions teachers have created in their exams?
Yeah,
So we should also insert the questions we create here.
yeah, but it's not your entire exam, a limited amount.
Okay,
So
only the questions. Okay.
where was it? I just saw that information. Sorry.
I also have one more question. But I can do that after you answer Natalia's. It's okay.
I guess I've already answered. No, you can ask your question.
Oh, I think you already talked about this, but just a little bit confused just looking at the document for the, well, why isn't this opening now? For the exam guidelines, if you add all of the timetables for all the different categories, it's supposed to be a 2-hour exam,
Mhm.
but we're only supposed to to give them an hour and a half, right? So should we shorten, for example, the multiple choice questions?
No, the information of 1 hour and a half is wrong. So follow the table.
Okay.
Follow the
Okay.
table.
Okay.
2 hours.
All
2
right.
hours is already short. Usually the students have trouble following that. I'm not finding where I just saw this information. Where did I see that? Sorry, it's the question, the collaborative question bank is something new. So I'm not very familiarized with the the procedures and the deadlines. So a bank of questions for categories 2, 3, and 4 of the exams will be available in the Planning Toolkit every April. Teachers should use these questions to create new versions of the retake exam. So it's
Se quiser. Quer comprar? Vai no salão? Ah, não? Jura? Se quiser.
okay. Um,
Olhando pro rosto
André,
dela.
I got your message. I usually don't take a break, but do you want to take like 3 minutes break?
It's okay. If you want to keep on going, I'll go to the bathroom real quick. I can I can I can look at the recording later for the guidelines itself.
Okay.
Thank you.
So about the question bank, you will probably receive some information from Karin, okay, about when you need to deliver these questions. But since you're making your exam, you will select some of those questions to put it in the collaborative question bank. Any other questions? No? No? All right. So we took a look at the, sorry. We took a look at the GIA guidelines, and you also have exam. You also have this. This is what I was looking for yesterday that I didn't find. Provas por capítulo from the book. From the book. So first you have a sample exam, okay, from Natalia Merlin's school, from Branta. It's a sample exam. Where you have Oh, this is the answer key, sorry. Health exam. Here. So you just don't have the sample GIA questions because they send the questions, you don't need to do it. But then you have fill in the blanks, matching, true or false, the use of a cartoon, multiple choice questions, and the short essay questions, okay? So you have a sample exam, please do not copy that. Of course, the sample exam is there to show you what level of questions, what type of questions, how the exam should look like, okay? This is not, so then we have the provas por capítulo from the book. From chapter 1 to chapter 16. Let's take a look at chapter 5. Okay, then you have true or false, some questions with true or false, multiple choice, some questions with multiple choice. Many questions. Matching. Matching. Short answer. But this short answer is different from ours. It's actually filling the blanks. And essay questions. Okay, so you have all or most of the categories. Let's take a look at a different chapter just to see if it's exactly the same structure, because sometimes they're different. Chapter 10, true or false, multiple choice. Same thing, matching, short answer. So you see that you have thousands of questions here. Andrea, I was just showing them inside the folder exam, you have sample exam for you to base your own exam. Please do not copy and apply it. But then you have provas por capítulo from the book. And provas por capítulo, you have one exam for each chapter. And these questions you can use. So you have like, I guess it's maybe not thousands, but literally hundreds of questions. And then you can get a couple from chapter 1, a couple from chapter 2, a couple from chapter 3, and you go throughout the content, mixing the categories, and you can assemble your exam. Yes, Natalia.
When you opened the provas por capítulo, each question has below it some letters like A and S, PTS, diff, ref.
Yeah, so I don't know what everything means. Only this is answer. This is answer.
Okay.
This is point. Okay. This is points. But
so this might be difficulty.
Yeah, exactly. Difficulty and reference, I guess, is the subject, the topic.
Okay.
But
okay.
Points.
Thank you.
Doesn't matter for us. Actually, this information doesn't matter much. But you already have the answer key. Cool. So this is very, very helpful. Extra resources. So just remember, I was confused myself. This is not inside the extra resources for the book. It's inside the exam folder. Okay, that's it for exams. Any other questions about exams? No? Okay. Next, we go to essay writing. Okay, so question, how would you justify the importance of essay writing to your students? And I know you were only 3 teachers here, but I want to put you guys in the breakout room because I feel like here you don't feel as comfortable talking as you would like a short discussion in the breakout room. So the question is, how can you justify the importance of essay writing to your student in the sense of they don't like writing, they don't love writing, they have to do it, it's important, we know it's important, but how can we show it to them or convince them that it's important? Okay, so I'm gonna open a breakout room and put the 3 teachers there for like 3 minutes. You can talk among yourselves and then you come back with your conclusions. Assign manually. André, Natalia. Very quick discussion.
Isabel, mind if I join the room as well so that I can check what they're talking?
No, of course. There you go. Let's wait for Natalia. You guys abandoned her.
Oh, the other Natalia is not here yet.
Yeah.
I think she'll come automatically when the time ends.
Right. So, what conclusions did you get to?
We talked about communication, improving your communication skills. It's not only about the writing itself. It improves your communication skills in order for you to share a great speech, in order for you to organize your thoughts and be able to put it into words. I think André can, and he talked about when you have a situation where you don't know how to express yourself, you know. And we also mentioned about researching, what else? André, do you want to help me?
Yeah, I'll pop in. Essentially, what I said is that when I try to motivate people in writing, and I'm even gonna bring something that I forgot to bring before, but the first thing that I brought was that like everyone has had situations in the past where you are trying to talk in your daily lives, and due to miscommunication, the situation aggravated itself into something that didn't necessarily have to be as severe or as aggressive as it is, you know. And the importance of writing is exactly that. I think Natalia Foracini mentioned this, which is essentially that when you write, you're practicing your critical thinking skills. So you're understanding more of the information that is being passed upon to you, processing that information, summarizing it in a way, and being able to critically assess it, either by agreeing, disagreeing, or bringing a different point of view that might alter the perspective of the other person, you know. And so finding the best way to communicate those ideas is crucial, not only for our academic and professional lives, but also through our social and daily lives, you know. And I think the other thing that I didn't really bring, which I talked a lot, especially in my other trainings, is that writing can also be something very therapeutic. As someone who does theater arts and who's touched a lot on that, it can increase your creativity. Yeah, I think that goes without saying, but also like journaling is a very important thing in psychology, for example. Putting your thoughts into pen and paper can be something that can help you process those emotions way better than just keeping them bottled up inside your head, you know? So I think that those are two main reasons why you should actually invest your time in writing, essentially.
Yeah, and besides that, we also mentioned the preparation for college, right? The importance of writing for college. Not only if students are trying to go to college somewhere else, but also in Brazil. The MLA rules are really similar to ABNT. I mean, the structure on how to cite an author, how to work on the references. It's a really good preparation.
Mhm. I always tell my students, I learned how to write during college. When I entered,
Yes.
I had no idea what I was doing. I was
For
terrible
sure.
and suffered a lot. So they're privileged to have this practice before, although they don't always see like that. But André, a question for you. Is there a way that you can use this? You're talking about like a journaling, putting your thoughts into paper, because our essay assignment in health is not that. They do research, they write a paper. Is there a way that they can do that during the health course?
That's a good question. I think maybe through the field trips, community service, and maybe in one project or another. But regardless, it's still important to be able to relate that ability to write one's own thoughts, not only through direct means, through like a journaling or something, but also through an academic paper, by saying maybe not saying these exact terms in an academic paper, of course, but like expressing your own opinion by putting, oh, I think that this because, and then explain it in further detail, you know. Like I think you have to be very self-critical even when writing an academic paper. You have to actually process your thoughts and analyze the information that's in it. And regardless if you're doing that through an academic paper or through journaling means, you're still exercising that ability. Of course, you're doing that more so when you're journaling and putting your own thoughts and what you're feeling and emotions, but that's also something private. You should also try to find a way to incorporate those same thoughts without, what's the right word, exposing oneself, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to apply that within an academic or professional scenario.
You know that part of our health curriculum is mental health. So
Yeah, I'm aware.
you could include like a journaling practice, maybe every class or every other class, where they would write something. Of course, like you said, that's private. So you would need to let them know, I will read everything you write, because you're the teacher, you need to evaluate. So they could write, they could put their thoughts into paper without breaking their privacy if they are aware of that. But it could include this kind of practice, you know, or maybe not every class, but once in a while.
Yeah, maybe not every class, and I also would feel a little bit bad asking to read them because it would be kind of counterproductive in my point of view, you know. Journaling is, at least in my eyes, it's supposed to be something where it's entirely private. You're expressing one's own thoughts, and not to mention that I don't necessarily think everyone necessarily benefits from journaling. You know, I for once uh I'm not a huge fan of journaling myself, but I know it helps a lot of my friends and acquaintances, you know. So it's a thin line. Other activity, I would be leaning more into other activities where I would maybe put journaling as one of the options, but not the only option, and try to motivate them to find their own way to express themselves and to to be able to process their own thoughts. You know, I know mental health is a great part of the curriculum, and I wouldn't make that go by unnoticed, of course. But I also think that giving them more possibilities will engage them more in the subject rather than just saying, "Oh yeah, everyone needs to journal in this class or every single class," you know?
Mhm. You can also have other types of journaling or reflection, like a healthy health diary. How are you feeling? I don't know, in terms of your body health, or what have you done this week that was towards achieving a better health? And then they can write about that, or
Yeah, that could be a really good idea.
reflections after activities.
Yeah, that both of those are really good ideas. I think they 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 are a good middle ground from what I said
Mhm,
and what is expected in an academic scenario, you know.
mhm.
So I think that that would be a good exercise.
Yes, Natalia. Was it by accident?
No.
Okay, okay.
My question is, yeah, yeah, you were saying about the reflection, the journal. I think it's important, especially when we are talking about wellness, and maybe that's one of the individual, like personal objectives for the end of the course, right? Raising self-awareness, improve their wellness. I think it's really useful.
Mhm.
But on the other hand, they are so resistant to writing. And we've been facing some challenges due to this virtual world in which they are all connected all day long, 24/7. So I think that the biggest challenge is, for me personally, is how to motivate them to write, because they are going to be. We of course we had in our first session all Greeks people, and the teacher was talking about the artificial intelligence and how much students are relying on it to do their assignments. So I think the biggest challenge is really getting them to write, and motivate them to write, and because students can be self-motivated to do that. Oh, I'm enrolled in this program, I'm going to take the most of it. But we have to be prepared for the ones that are not going to be in this and going to be as self-motivated as we would like them to be, so that they could take advantage of the writing, the essay writing in all the subjects they will be taking, right? So are there any strategies you have developed or you could share with us that would lead to a more engage students who are not as motivated as they should?
So, you know, it is hard. Writing is hard. And when I teach literature, the reading part is hard. It's boring. It's difficult, not only for them, for us as well. If you have like reading assignments, writing assignments, we, however, understand the importance and the responsibility. We have all of that. I think the best approach is to have this conversation we're having with the students, to ask them the question that I asked you. Why is it important to write? Have them work in pairs and in groups to discuss and then share with the whole group their ideas. And at that moment, they will listen to themselves justifying why this is important. So you can go like, it's not me saying that, it's you. You're saying that. You're saying it's important. And then bringing the writing assignments. I like the journaling idea or things that are similar. And then reflection about the activities I used to do for fine arts a lot. How did you feel listening to that song? I had like an activity that they had to listen to a song, imagine a scene, and then create a story for that song. So how did you feel doing that activity? Why was it productive? Why not? So bring these easier assignments, and those things become part of their daily practice, you know? So they start to get used to writing more and more. I think that's the way, you know, I don't see a magical way out where everybody's gonna be super motivated and love it and everything. But baby steps, and they need to understand the importance of it beyond grade, beyond college. But it's a thing for life. It's a thing for your own way of thinking. You're gonna think better, you're gonna speak better, you're gonna communicate better. And even in social media, we use writing a lot. So they can become better communicators on the internet. Very nice. Very productive. Any other inputs or questions? Okay. Yes.
Sorry, not about these, but it's a bit of anxiety concerning the portfolio. Are you gonna tell us, give some expectations concerning the portfolio we have to present, and when, what is the process like, or not? We should only follow the guidelines that are in the planning toolkit, our teacher portfolios.
Mm-hmm. When you're going to present, I think you received a link to schedule with Karim, and you're going to present the documents. How much time do you have? 15 minutes to present everything?
30.
Oh, you have 30 minutes. Okay, that's good. Yeah, basically the portfolio, you are gonna show the documents that you prepared, but the course description, the course plan are very straightforward. Like, remember, you only change your name and the times. Then you're going to present your ideas for the field trip, for the projects, and for the lesson plan. We're going to work on these documents. Tomorrow, we're gonna do projects. I'm just checking the schedule. Tomorrow, we're gonna do the projects. And then on Monday, we're gonna do the lesson plan. And on Wednesday, we're gonna have a time to wrap everything up. And I think there will be time for you to present the portfolio to me, and I can give you feedback. But I will give you feedback throughout about each document. Okay?
Isabel,
that is-
let me see if I'm wrong, because you said that
Sorry.
on Wednesday, we're gonna, but it's Wednesday is in the morning, right? And, oh no, because in the table that they sent to us for us to fill in, to schedule the presentation, for the portfolio presentation, it says Tuesday, but it says December 13th. That's why I got a little bit confused, but I think it says Tuesday. So I was like, we're gonna present before the end of the training.
That's
But
weird
no.
because December 13th is a Wednesday. December 13th
It is.
is a
Yes,
Wednesday.
yes, it is. I don't know what happened to my, I think it was in a different year. Sorry, that's correct. Sorry, never mind.
All right. So let's continue here talking about the essay. So we also have a document that's called Essay Writing Guidelines. Highly recommend you check it. Most questions you have about the essay will be there. So it's very helpful. Then we have the GIA standards. Type of essay. The type of essay for health is a descriptive essay. Descriptive essay. It's basically, the students will research a topic and describe what they learned. Describe that topic. So they don't need to analyze, they don't need to bring their own point of view and opinion. They just need to describe what they learned about. Then we have the word count. I'm gonna show you. We follow MLA style. That's the formatting style. MLA, if you look online, it doesn't require a cover, but for Griggs, we require a cover. So the essay has to have a cover. The essay has to cover the GIA key values, or include, the students need to include the GIA key values in the essay. And there must be an oral presentation of the essay, about the essay, where the students will present what they found out and their reasoning throughout the essay. And of course, always account for differentiation, considering the different possibilities for the students. Okay, so this is the type of essay for health, descriptive essay. And I'm gonna change this because it is causing confusion. Word count. So usually, as health students are freshmen. Usually that's the case. If that's the case for you, they're gonna write 500 words. One essay, 500 words, which is not a lot. And even when they're freshmen, this is pretty possible. But there might be something in the way and you may have sophomores, students. In this case, they're gonna write 1,000 words, which is challenging. Or you may have juniors and seniors, like every time I taught health, they were juniors or seniors. So even though they were older, more experienced with better English, already in the third year of high school, they had to write 2,000 words. And that's quite a lot and quite challenging for them. But that's how we go. So if you have any questions about type of essay, word count, just check the essay guidelines. Yes, Nach.
I just wanted to ask, do they have the chance of writing a first draft and then revisiting it? Okay.
Not
Okay.
only a first draft, usually I work with 3 drafts. Yeah, so the writing the
Hey,
essay
sorry,
is a
I also-
process. Yeah, go ahead.
question. And Leandro can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think from what Miriam told me, um, if I am to give health classes next year, my classes will be mixed from what I understood. So there are going to be some freshmen, some sophomores, some juniors and seniors. Should I expect the word count to be different for each one of those students, even though that they're in the same class?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're gonna produce according to their year. So the freshmen will do 500 words, the seniors will do 2,000. Otherwise, it would be very unfair. Poor guys. So, yes.
Sorry, another question only. Concerning this essay writing, it's what you expect from them in your subject, like health. So you give them 3 draft opportunities because it's the course you're giving. Like if I were teaching literature, then I would have to have a different expectation concerning draft or concerning the essay, or no?
What do you mean? I didn't understand your question, but it's the same thing. It's the same process.
Okay, no, what was I was that maybe because it's health, it's a little more difficult for them to write about than it is for literature, because they have a lot more concrete material, like they have the books, they can refer to the literature and the discussions. And health is something that is more abstract because they're gonna write about their own experience as well, so maybe they don't have a little more basis to write about. So it's okay if I give them the opportunity to write 3 drafts in health, but not in literature, or it depends on the subject.
Okay, so let's go back a little. In health, they're not going to write about their own experience. They're going to do research and write about a topic. So, for example, they will research why eating processed foods is bad for, or can cause this, and that disease. I don't know. So they will research, they will have sources, at least 3 sources. That means articles, preferably scientific, but they have to be reliable sources. They will study that and they will produce an essay describing what they learned, describing the topic, not their experience or anything. It's an academic essay. It's the same case for literature, but the difference is that in my opinion, it's the other way around. Literature is much more difficult for them to write an essay. And
okay, I was concerned that I was thinking that maybe health was more difficult for them But okay, now I got it. Thank you.
Mhm.
I got an idea.
Because in literature, it's not even a descriptive essay, it's an analytical. So they have to bring their point of view, they have to analyze what they're reading. It's more complex. That's one of the reasons why we start the high school program with health. It's supposed to be like it's not that it's an easier topic, it's just it is less academic, but the writing is not, it's not a report about what they experienced, it's a research. Okay. So for the process of essay writing, you all watched the training on academic writing. So Gabi explained way better and much more in depth about the essay writing process. But remember to have a schedule. And the schedule will involve the drafts, for example. So in every subject, we work with drafts, okay? Because essay writing is a process and we want our students to excel and to build the essay, like to really, get there step by step. So we work with scaffolding the process. I usually do 3 drafts. First draft, I ask for bullet points. So let's say, let me stop sharing. I speak better like this. First day of class, I tell them about the course and everything, and that they are gonna have to do an essay. And I show them the possibility of topics. This is how I do. You don't need to let them choose. You can choose a topic for them. I like to have some possibilities and I let them choose. So from day 1 to day 2, I say, so you're gonna think about this, think about the topic that you'd like to write your essay about. And then on day 2, they vote the topic. And I have the whole class vote for a topic. So everybody's working on the same topic. Then we start working with the sources. Usually I select the sources, or I select 2 sources and I let each student select 1 extra source or more, 1 or more extra source. And then we start reading. Every class we read a source and then we work with summarizing what they read, paraphrasing some paragraphs so they have this practice, selecting quotes that they can use in the essay. We talk about plagiarism. We talk about how to properly cite in the brackets, in between brackets, according to MLA style. So I work with those sources and then I ask for the first draft. The first draft is bullet points. I ask them, okay, so now you've read everything. How do you want to approach your essay? What is the sequence of information that you're going to bring? So they give me the bullet points. I receive everything, correct, give it back to them, and they will do the second draft. In the second draft, I ask for the body of the text, like the main paragraphs, the paragraphs in the middle. So they need to transform the bullet points into the essay, the body of the essay. Then I receive the drafts. I'm not asking for formatting yet. And this is the moment when I'm going to correct like citation. Look, you gave me all this information. Where is it coming from? You need to cite the sources. You need to do this, this, and that. I give it back to them. And then I ask for the third draft, which is introduction and conclusion. So now I have the whole essay. I I read everything correct, give it back to them. And then the final version, they need to put it into the correct formatting for Emily's title. This is how I work. I think it's a good structure. And then the thing is, that takes time. This process takes time. They need to have days to be able to write. Well, I used to work with them writing at home, but now with ChatGPT, you may want them to write during classes. So you will have to assign time for them to do that in class. But you have to assign time for you to receive the draft, correct, return it to them. They can study that, write the second draft, give it back to you. You need some days to correct, give it back to them. So all of that needs to be in your course plan, in your schedule, because otherwise you will end up overwhelming your students with, yeah, you need to write your essay for next week, so just do it, you know, and that's not how we work, and they will just go crazy and hate it even more. When it's a process, one thing that I see is that they love seeing their progress. And then when you give the final feedback, you can show them, look where you started. Remember where you started? You were all confused about the ideas and everything. And now look at your essay. All formatted, all beautiful, all professional and academic. Well written and everything. So it is very important to schedule all of that, all of this. Organize it in your course plan. In the official one that you're gonna use next year, put step by step the due dates for the drafts, when you're gonna give it back to the students, and everything. Okay, other than that, we have the research. Yeah, this is part of the schedule. So in the schedule, organize the schedule, the students will do the research, they will work with summarizing. I changed this in the other slide. I want to change it here too. Summarizing, paraphrasing, quoting, and citation, and plagiarism. So you need to work with all of these concepts throughout the course as well. Because students don't know, they don't know how to summarize or what is a summary. They don't know how to paraphrase and what it means. They don't know how to quote properly, how to cite properly, and they don't really understand the concept of plagiarism. And many times they will commit, they will plagiarize thinking they're not. It's really, many times they just don't know what they're doing. So we need to teach them that. And then you should also work with your students about the essay structure. What is an introduction paragraph? What is a conclusion paragraph? In the body, how do you develop the body of the essay? How should you structure a paragraph within itself? Here are some topic ideas for the essay. So you can take a print screen of this. So like first aid, describing a healthy lifestyle, nutrition, exercise, mental health, holistic well-being, life expectancy, bullying, substance abuse, researching about the blue zones. I use this topic a lot, about the blue zones. Are you guys familiarized with the blue zones? So the blue zones are 5 places around the world that have the highest life expectancy. Loma Linda in California, it's an Adventist community. Okinawa in Japan, Sardinia in Italy, Ikaria in Greece, and Nicoya in Nicaragua. So they have the highest life expectancy, and it's about diet, lifestyle, exercising, sense of community, all of that. And I like to use this as a topic because then the students can research one of the places, or they can research the diet throughout all of these places. They like to understand why do people in these places live more. Okay. On the other side here, the importance of learning first aid and why it should be taught more frequently. They can compare how first aid is taught and is dealt with in different countries, because some countries teach that in schools and they have like first aid kit and defibrillators in public places, and then other countries don't have any of this. The roles of vitamins and minerals in the body, the correlation between mental and physical health, and successful cases of lifestyle change for the better. So they can get like case studies of people who changed their lifestyle. You could even get like famous people who changed their lifestyle for some reason and what happened and everything. Okay, let me see the time, 9:30. So here. For the essay, oh, I didn't show you the essay guidelines yet. So the essay writing guidelines, very important that you check it as well. They have valuable information. It's like a textbook, 45 pages, covers everything you need to know about essay writing. Here you have the table of the type of essay, the word count, everything about MLA. You also have these links for websites where they explain the MLA formatting. You should show this to your students. Also, give them access to these websites. Teach them how the formatting is. So you have here all these specifications in this table as well. Font size, inch, alignments, everything. Sorry, margins. You can show this to the students, teach them that you have examples of how it is supposed to be. You can take them to the school's lab, or if they have laptops, and get a random text and just have them format so that they can get familiarized with Google Docs or Word. But also give them access to the website so they can look for themselves, because they also need to have some independence and autonomy. Then it talks about citations, the cover page. You have a model of the cover page here. Sources, websites that you can use for sources. The writing process, so tips for how to teach your students, summarizing and paraphrasing, essay structure, editing, improve, reading. We have some essay prompts here, for example, for health. Describe a healthy lifestyle. Make sure to explore different aspects that constitute lifestyle. Apply GIA key values to your analysis. This essay could be based on summaries of 2 or 3 texts. So every essay needs to cover the GIA key values as well. Where do I want to go? Then you have the appendixes. So appendix 1, the 5 stages of essay writing. They're also helpful. You can check the 5 stages of essay writing. There's some tips about language. How to structure paragraphs. Da, 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 da. So I highly recommend you check this. Then appendix 2, appendix 3 is the essay rubric, which I'm going to show you how to grade your students. And then in appendix 5, you have a course plan. This will show you how to plan the whole process of the essay writing. And then you have a planner for health, planner 3, which is here. So your course divided into 17 classes. You have 20 classes, but it's counting only 17 because of field trip, exam, review. Then you have everything that you could do. This is a suggestion. What could you do? Like first day, select the topic in class. Second day, start working with plagiarism, summarizing, paraphrasing, and text 1. So you have like all the steps, including receiving the draft, second draft, first draft. So you can adapt this to your own course plan. Okay? So essay writing guidelines, very useful. Then we have the rubrics, GIA rubrics. Inside of it, you have rubrics for projects, our presentation rubrics, and essay rubrics. So I know you saw this already in the academic writing. This is wonderful. I love this tool. You have to come here and make a copy for yourself. Make a copy. Then just put the course name, student's name. Here you have the categories of what is being evaluated. Here you have exceeds expectations, meets expectations, needs improvement, inadequate. And here you're going to put a value up to. This is not, oh, view only, of course. But anyways, you're gonna put a value up to 4. And it can be half number, like 3.5, 3.8, 2.3. You can work with these numbers. And it's going to give you the final grade, here from 1 to 10, and here the letter grade. Usually I get these cells here, I merge them, and I write a short feedback for the students. And then I print it as, I save it as, I download it as PDF. And I send it together with the essay for the students. Or you can print and paste it in the below the student's essay. Okay, so to finish today's session, you're going to take a look at essay samples. Okay, we have sample A, sample B, and sample C. As we have 3 teachers, I'm sorry, I'm feeling a little bit dizzy. I don't know if it's the heat, it's because I'm speaking nonstop, so my head is not working very well. But anyways, I think I'm gonna ask you to read sample A and sample B. Maybe take like 6 or 7 minutes each. I would like you to take a look at the sample, take a look at the rubrics, see if you agree with the grades, and see like why did they receive these grades, and if you agree with that. So I'm gonna put you back in the breakout room. Do all of you have access to the Planning 2 kit and you can access the samples? So you can share the screen, take a look at sample A together, analyze, like you're not gonna read the whole thing because it's 2,000 words. They were seniors. Just take a look at it. Why did they receive this grade? Then take a look at sample B. And I will call you back maybe at about 9:54, 9:55, and we can just wrap it up. Okay? Let's go. Do you know if Natalia just lost her connection or did she say anything? So, were you able to take a look at both samples, A and B?
Yeah, I think I even mentioned this in the beginning of the thing. I thought that A, it's hard to say without seeing the actual comments, of course, right? But A at least didn't have a lot highlighted, so it was hard to tell what, like, if you go scroll down all the way down and see the grades, it's hard to tell why he didn't get, or the person didn't get a perfect score, you know? As for B, there were a lot of different parts highlighted. And I mean, reading it again, I think I understood why the sentence structure and well, more so the structure than the insight and understanding of it, because I felt like A had a pretty solid grasp of the understanding, but the sentence structure was a little bit limited. Like I didn't really see the student varying as much in the sentence structure and showing like they kind of just always follow the same kind of sentence structure. As for B, it was a little bit more evident, and I think that's mostly based on the highlighting, but again, I think it's hard to say for a fact without seeing the actual comments that the teacher gave, you know?
Mhm.
I see that on essay one, I didn't have time to finish reading, but I think it was better structured. I see more use of linking languages. But it was missing the header and the title. So the structure was not 100% according to MLA. The formatting, I mean,
The header,
it's when you start on the left side
yeah.
where you have to repeat the information. It was also missing on B, I would say, and there was on SAB there was more like informal writing, some punctuation mistakes like quotation marks after the dot, and I have, this would become a question. I didn't notice. I could understand, but I usually ask my students to write for the thesis statement the purpose of the essay to be very clear.
Mhm.
And the grading on essay B was for the thesis statement.
Mhm.
I would give a 3.
Mhm.
Okay?
Yeah, I mean, rating is, as much as we have a tool to help us be as objective as possible, it's always subjective. So last year in the training, I received, the teacher said about the grades, like that maybe they would give an A for sample B and they would give a B for sample C. So they thought the teacher graded too harshly. Then yesterday we have the health group for the Adventist schools. Okay, Natalia, I'm finishing, but thank you for letting me know. Have a good class. There was an American teacher and she said that she was worried about sample A because she spotted many grammar mistakes. And then I guess for her, maybe it was not an A. So, there will be some divergence, but I guess the rubrics helps everybody keep like the same kind of range. But yes, you're right. The thesis statement is very important. I just think about, like, as we grade from 1 to 4, 4 would be 10 and 3 would be 7.5. So if you want to give a 9, it would be a 3.6. So we need to be a little bit careful with that, not to, take too many points.
Okay.
All right, that's it, 10 o'clock. Guys, any other comments or questions for now? Okay. Thank you for today, and I'll see you tomorrow, the same time, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And tomorrow we're going to talk about, no, wait. Tomorrow we're going to talk about projects.
All right.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right,
Thank
thank you.
you
Bye bye,
too.
Isabel.
Thank
Bye,
you
guys.
too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Tomorrow.
Bye.